All right, folks, welcome back. So we give more fire to what you are hearing from our hangout. You know, let's talk politics now. You know, the first German chancellor, Otto von Bismarck, it was, who said, politics is not an exact science, but political theorists say politics is a behavioral science. Now, the internal crisis in the opposition People's Democratic Party, PDP, continues to confound pundits and commentators alike. The National Working Committee, NWC, of the party has reaffirmed Senator Samuel Anyanwu as the party's national secretary in compliance with the verdict of the Court of Appeal. The Deputy National Publicity Secretary of the PDP, Ibrahim Abdullahi, emphasized that the party's obligation is to respect the court's decision. A healthy opposition enhances a healthy democracy. Won't you say, Kayode?
Okay, so maybe by way of allusion, just today, the appeal court also affirms Abure, you know, as the national chairman of the Labour Party.
Yeah.
And this also gives credence to the level of crisis that the opposition parties are having. Back to the issue of Anyanwu, and this is another case of political situations are never going to be resolved by courts. That you even
no
get...
wonder people talk about the politicization of polity.
Exactly.
If you understand.
Because if you don't settle issues, if you don't come to that round table where you have to give and take, because I was wondering what the other guy, Ude or whatever his name, you know, how he's going to work with Hamagun, who does not definitely, is not in the same ship with him. So this is a case of, you guys, court is not going to resolve your issue. If court even resolves your issue and you now get justice, I know the lawyer, CK, may not agree with me, but then if the thing is not having a political solution, we'll definitely go to court.
Yeah.
But this is to say that as an opposition, if you continue to have this divergence view, if you continue to throw tantrums at each other in the public space and you go to the media space, this party will become more fragmented. And you will not provide a credible opposition that we're talking about. And that is what is happening to Abure.
Yeah.
And that's why when you look at, you know, the issue of Abure and the other team, they were saying, oh, Mr. Obi, the governor of Abia, let's solve this issue. If you take side, this other party will go to court. Yeah. And when they get victory, they will disrespect you. They will not come to that round table. So that's what I see.
Verdict.
Or a verdict the next time around. You know, when they are in court, they will call it victory for themselves. So I feel the solution will never be resolved by court. Let them go to appeal court, let them go to Supreme Court. It will not help them.
Well, he's been called to the bar, so he knows what we are talking about. We know, gentlemen, CKN, 5 minutes is a long time in politics. The PDP is talking about taking over power in 2027. At the rate it is going?
You're talking of 2027.
Yeah.
Have they survived 2025?
Are you asking or telling me?
I'm asking you, because you're asking.
If you ask me now, who are you asking?
Kayode. You know, it's very, very funny, and it's quite unfortunate.
Yeah.
Quite unfortunate, because it is now more than ever that we need a very, very strong opposition.
Oh, yeah. Yeah.
To keep the current government
on its toes. Yeah.
Because what we are seeing is practically we are running into a one-party system, which is not good for our democracy. All the opposition parties, either deliberately or indeliberately, whichever English you want to use, have practically gone on sabbatical. Or what we call the military, we are talking about the military, what we talk a war. They've gone on a war. Because if you look at the PDP, this was a party that told us some years, just less than 15 years ago, that they are going to rule for 50 years.
Well, 60 years.
Okay, was it?
I thought they said 16.
No,
No, here and
no, make it here and now.
They said 16, I do this
16. Yes, it was the former national chairman, late Obulafo. Remember, they said Obulafo. They actually said that. But when they got 16 to 16, they lost him.
They applied the brakes.
No, they lost him. They didn't apply the brake. They lost him. And APC took over. And we saw the level of opposition that APC played during the part of PDP, which was what brought them to power in 2015. Everything totally down. either deliberately, as I saw, indeliberately. We come to realize that, just as Kay said, he said, oh, those in the law may not agree. I agree with him, because in law, the best way of going about issues now, especially within law, we are taught as law students, is what is called ADR. ADR, Alternative Dispute Resolution Mechanism. Most courts allow that. Do you understand what I mean? Most courts allow that. What it means is that if I'm taking you to court for whatever, let's say you snatch something from me, not that I know you snatch anyway, in case you snatch something from me, I decide to take you to the court, and we get to the court. Before we start, the magistrate or the judge may just ask us, because you know the rigorous and the time wasting and what it's going to take to get this, and you could ask,
especially if you plead not guilty.
Yes, he will now ask you that, is there a way that you people can go and settle this thing amicably without the court? And you can say, yes, we agree. What's not said? You call your counsel, call my own counsel. I say, look at this issue. Can you just go and look at it yourselves instead of bringing it to the court? That is ADR. Now, that issue that we are fighting over, within 48 hours, you'll be shocked that it will be resolved within us. And you save the court, the problem of that process, you save so many other things. So the issues, but if you after that, we decided we didn't end up resolving, we'll come back to the court, then the court will start its trial. Now, the issue is that the PDP, as it is, the PDP seems to have totally lost him. Because I don't know, in my language, they say, which means that I don't know who do now. Because the more you think that PDP is solving its problem, the more deeper. Let's look at the issue at stake presently. Now, the National Secretary of the party, Anyanwu, was to contest for the governorship of Imo State. Ordinarily, you expect somebody of that nature. Once you are going that way, you resign your position.
Which is the position.
That is normal position. But they say, I've not read their constitution. They say in their constitution, it's not compulsory that you must resign. The man now went to contest against Opus Odema. He was truly trashed by Opus Odema. He headed on to the seat and came back there. You see the National Secretary. Meanwhile, when he went to contest, the Southeast, the PDP Southeast Zone, now nominated the National Youth Leader, Sunday Ude Okeye, to replace him. Are you getting the point? It is because it's a position that has been zoned to them. So they resolve within themselves. It's just like the problem they're having with their national chairman, where somebody for the North Central was the former chairman of the PDP. And Damagu was supposed to be there for just as an interim. Pending when they get another chairman from that same zone. Till now, he has refused to leave. Now, when Anyanwu lost,
should he leave?
Honorable, that's what is going on now. That's what is going on now. It is only in this part of the world that men are not honorable enough. Something happens in the United States, the man that is not even involved, the fact that is the head of that agency, something happens, he resigns. Here, they will fight, they will even be fighting.
But if you look at it, the case is still going to be, they're still going to continue on the 27th.
No, let me tell you what happened. A high court in Abuja affirmed the position and held that Ude should remain should take over as National Secretary. Now Anyanwu went to the Court of Appeal for what is called a stay of execution. That's what is called stay of execution. Yes. So once there is a stay of execution, which is why I was laughing initially, they said they are going to file a stay of execution. The fact that you file a stay of execution does not mean there must be a stay. That stay of execution must be pronounced by a judge. That is what has happened now. So what it means is that they are back to status quo, which is what Anyanwu is now claiming and say, okay, while the status quo remains, I will remain as the national, and that is where they are.
All right. Well, on our show, like any show on this TV, time is the master. Let's take on the last but not least story. It is this one. A national budget is a yearly plan that estimates a government's revenue and spending. It becomes a matter for deep concern when a budget defense becomes rancorous. There was a charged atmosphere when senators and representatives